You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge, where I'm always serving you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. Big ups to everybody out there. I so appreciate all of my subscribers. I appreciate my members. And if this is your first time just hanging out in the lounge, getting yourself acquainted with my channel, I welcome you to the lounge and join the family. You can either join by becoming a member, only $3 a month, tied into the congregation. That helps with me to be able to keep my equipment up to date. That helps with me being able to put towards my businesses I have on the side as well. Or you can just simply just subscribe. That way you can hang out in the lounge. You know, here we're always chopping it up. It's always good energy, always positive energy. And nevertheless, you know, I try to make sure, you know, I make this a place, a safe haven space in which women we can congregate together, socialize, you know, and basically, you know, be able to feed off of one another's positive energy. So, you know, that's basically what I am pushing more than anything is peace and being able to collaborate and elaborate with all of you, you know, with all of these topics and different discussions that I think is very imperative. So, moving right along, first thing I want to discuss is, again, I want to appreciate everybody who has been buying the cable app. I'm glad that I've been saving y'all money. I've been getting nothing but positive feedback, positive compliments about the cable. Everyone who's been getting cable from me has been nothing but compliments, basically saying that they're glad they're able to save money, how all the channels are of good quality. The cable package has everything, stars, Disney, you know, all the sports packages. So I'm glad that not only are y'all part of my channel, but I'm glad that I'm also able to help y'all save some money, because we're living in some hard times. And let's face it, we want our kids to be entertained. We want our husbands to be entertained, our significant others to be entertained. And not only that, maybe we have parents that we're trying to save money, because I also have subscribers who have been purchasing my cable for their parents. So they are indeed very happy as well that their mother and their father don't have an expensive bill, because, you know, these senior citizens, they living off of their retirement and things of that nature, and also college students. So I'm glad that I've been able to save y'all a lot of money with the cable. And anybody who's interested, looking at the thumbnail, my email is right there. Hit me up, let me know that you are interested in buying the cable. Also, I do have a video that breaks down my cable, and hopefully I remember in this stream to post it in there. So y'all can go ahead and get the like button, because we're just going to go ahead in today's sermon, today's topic at hand. I wanted to talk about when you're in a toxic friendship. You know, we have a lot of these toxic teachers out here. The last time I did my content, I talked to y'all about how, you know, the last lockup and marriage in Huntsville episode, in which Tisha just made it her business when she saw a male come in the room, turn her heads, and she just had to try to dim her light by literally trying to remove her shades from off her face, which was very juvenile, very inappropriate. But when you're in the company of another woman that's very envious of you, they seize any opportunity to try, you know, to dim your light, you know, to try to shade you. But truth is, a lot of y'all are dealing with toxic teachers, okay? I've had my fair share of toxic teachers, which is the very reason why I roll solo today. And I'm very, very particular. I'm very, very picky. I'm very, very selective about who I allow in my circle, because I'm getting older. There's no room for error. This is not a time in my life where I basically, I don't have the room to deal with betrayal. I don't have the room to deal with somebody trying to sabotage me. I don't have the energy for that, so therefore I'm very particular about who I allow in my circle. The problem is, you start to bring unnecessary drama to yourself when you start becoming less particular with who you allow in your circle. And you have to also, it's very imperative that you have what I call the spirit of discernment. In other words, ladies, you have to be able to read the room, read the energy, read the vibes. Pay attention to your gut intuition. I don't care how nice a person is to you, how much they smile, how much they laugh at your jokes. If your intuition is not vibing with the energy that they're putting off, then it's very imperative that you don't ignore that. It's something in them that's causing your spirit to not align with theirs, and a lot of times God intentionally allows that as a warning that something is off, something's not quite right. I can't speak for everybody else, but I know for myself. Energy never lied to me. My energy and my intuition, it never mattered how friendly or easygoing somebody was. And many instances where I fell short, like some of you sisters probably have, is that you try to give a person a benefit of a doubt when your spirit is already sending off signals. The red flags are right there, but you want to keep seeing the good in people. And I realize in many instances why a lot of us as women, is the reason why some of us just so badly want to see the good in people is because we're good people. And you want to believe that everybody is like you. You want to believe that there's people that's going to be honest like you, that's going to be genuine like you, that's going to be caring like you. And you just don't want to, you don't want to discredit a person, especially when y'all seem to have a lot in common. Y'all seem to like the same music, y'all seem to have the same common interests. But just because you have some things in common with a person, it does not mean that a friendship has to be formulated. And that's what I learned the hard way, that just because you and a person can talk and relate to a few things, just leave it at that. Enjoy it for what it is. Don't try to make it more by y'all bonding with each other, y'all calling each other every day, y'all hanging out with each other every day. Sometimes where you meet people, that's where you have to leave people. If you met that person at the hair shop while you was getting your hair done, and y'all just so happen to had a conversation, and out of nowhere, the conversation starts progressing and y'all start hitting it off, and y'all realize y'all like the same coffee shop, y'all realize y'all like the same artists, y'all like to go to the same jazz bar, it does not mean y'all need to link up. Okay? I've learned this the hard way. You can enjoy having a conversation, talking with someone about what you like and the things that you like to do and things of that nature. That does not give it grounds to invites and open invitation. For instance, just because, like I said, I'll use the barbershop talk. You and a young lady, you and another woman, y'all are both getting y'all nails done together, and somehow, some way, y'all get into talking about current events like the Love and Marriage show and stuff like that. And then next thing y'all notice, y'all talking about the different events y'all like to go to. Y'all like to do wine tasting and stuff like that. That's not the grounds necessarily to say, you know what, girl, sound like we got a whole lot in common. Here's my number. Maybe we should go out and do some wine tasting. You don't force a friendship. You know what I mean? It's supposed to gradually and genuinely be authentic, to where you don't feel like you have to extend yourself out there. You know what I mean? You just genuinely, hey, well, sometimes, girl, I be in that area. If I ever run into you again, that'd be great or whatever. But all of this, let's link up, let's get together. How often you go, you know what I mean? You come off as desperate, you know what I mean, for friendship. You come off as, you're lonely and trying to seek some type of company. You know what I mean? And you just have to be mindful of that. And this is not to say that you should totally be against meeting people and going out and being social, but you just have to know when and how often to apply it. But the problem is, you have some women, they think everybody is their friend. They think everything that somebody invites them to, they're supposed to go. They think every event they should be there. And there's nothing wrong with saying, girl, I would love to go, but not tonight. You got to, people appreciate you when they deal with you less. You don't want to overstay your welcome. You don't want to overuse your presence, with these friendships. After a while you start bumping heads, and boundaries start getting crossed that don't need to be crossed. But y'all basically get my drift. But this is the main point at hand. Back to the toxic Tisha'S. A lot of y'all are in friendship with toxic Tisha. And guess what? Some of y'all even got toxic Tisha'S in your family. That one hating ass cousin, that one hating ass sister that's mad because you always had your stuff together, and they struggling trying to figure it out. Or you have that one sister that's rich and bougie, got way more stuff than you do, but yet she's hating on you, and you not even nowhere on the level that she's on. Listen, like I told y'all, people don't have to be envious of what you have materialistically. People could be envious of the fact that you are a survivor, or that you're not a quitter, that you don't let life beat you down and you stay down. You get back up. Even though she may be the one to have all the money, even though she may have the one with all the college degrees, she may not be near as strong, and she's not built to deal with the same level of trials and tribulations as you have been able to endure. So some people, they could be hating on your strength, So don't think because a person has more than you, it makes them less likely to be a hater. Absolutely not. So I want y'all to be aware, right, of these red flags. And when it comes to these toxic Tisha'S, we've seen Tisha, her whole demeanor, her whole body language just changes when male is in her presence. And same thing with Kimmy, because one of y'all ladies brought it up, and y'all did point out, they say, Mocha, you forgot to point out the fact that Kimmy is also a hater. And I agree. I can't remember which one of y'all said it, but I agree. Kimmy is also a hater. She's just not as loud and obvious as Tisha termite. Tisha is definitely a termite. She's always trying to bite off everything. She's always trying to bite off somebody's style. That's my name I'm going to give. I'm going to call her Tisha termite, because that's just what she is, right? But as I said in my last content, it's a lot of y'all right now that's dealing with toxic Tisha. And in case you don't think you're dealing with a toxic Tisha, I'm going to give y'all the elements, break them all down, give y'all the red flags of how to know if you are in a friendship with a toxic Tisha, or how to know if you're about to get into a friendship with a toxic Tisha. So starting with the first thing, right? Hit that like button, y'all, before we go into this, because I'm giving y'all some real essential information. Hey, I don't always have the tea, but I give y'all the tea and truth over here, because truth, that is what's going to give you, that's what's going to keep you in your blessed space. That's what's going to help you to preserve your peace and protect you from getting yourself in all type of unnecessary situations that can mentally drain you. Because we have, what I like to say, we have a lot of spiritual vampires out there. People that are looking to captivate you just so they could drain you and mentally and spiritually and emotionally deprive you of your blessings. So listen, I know this ain't the top tier gossip content, but this is medicine that is essential for the spirit and for the soul and for the body and for the mind. So please apply this knowledge that I am dispersing to you today. If not, send this content to your daughters. Maybe your daughter's going through this, through your nieces, other young women out there that need to be put on game. So the first thing is, dealing with a toxic teacher, they are very inconsiderate. They act like only y'all friendship surrounds around them. They're always calling you, girl, what you doing, girl? Girl, I got to talk to you about something. I've known somebody who, matter of fact, had a toxic teacher because she said every time she would pick up the phone and she'd be like, girl, what you doing? And she'd be like, I'm kind of busy. I got a whole lot going on. Oh, it is? Well, girl, let me go ahead and tell you what happened to me today. Just was totally inconsiderate. Not paying attention to her body language. If y'all supposed to be friends, you should know when I'm tired. You should know when I'm busy. You should know when I'm overwhelmed. Or at least ask if you're not sure. Well, girl, did I catch you at a bad time? This and that. If you're dealing with a toxic teacher, she is not going to ask you how you're doing. She just wants to automatically go in right away like a freight train and spill all her problems out on you like you are a dumping site. Okay? It seems very minor, but you don't want to build a friendship with a toxic teacher that's inconsiderate. I dealt with a female one time. Her inconsideration was, we already both had worked at the same job together. So keep in mind, at the time, we both doing security, okay? The staff was not that big. So it was not too many days off. And it was not too many days you would get off early. So she knew that and I knew that. And it was already bad enough that, we was already talking on the phone the majority of the time before she even got to work. Only for her to get to work. And she's supposed to relieve me. And we're talking some more. Now, keep in mind, we already talked off and on throughout the day while I was at work and she was off work. She calling me from my house while she running her errands and stuff. You get to the job, we talk some more. You would think by now we done talked about enough. So on top of that, you holding me up, talking about all type of other things to where I done already clocked out and I'm still sitting here another hour or so just still talking with you about your problems. You're not keeping in mind, I'm tired. I've been working all day. I want to go home. I don't want to sit here and talk another 30, 40 minutes. Just little things, coming late to every event that you invite her to. Just straight up inconsiderate. Don't have no respect for your feelings. Will get out of pocket. Will say the wrong things at the wrong time. It may seem funny, but listen. This is another thing. As women have to understand, there's also shade in jokes. Because a person says something in a jokingly manner and they insulting you through their jokes, like, girl, that's the best you could do. Oh, child, I thought you knew better than that, girl. All them undercover shade insulting you. But yeah, trying to make it seem like they joking with you at the same time. All that's red flags. But the main overall point was I was basically saying was when they just flat up inconsiderate. When you're dealing with a selfish broad that don't care none about what you're going through because she wants you to know all about what she going through. Not cool. Red flag. Another red flag with a toxic teacher. That I like to call the 3 C's. Competitive. I'm sure I got it right. They're always competing, comparing, and criticizing. Competing, comparing, and criticizing. Now, I will start off by saying competition is natural. Is natural. Okay, we compete every day. We out here competing for jobs, competing to get hired. You know, we're competing with co-workers to be promoted and climb the ladder. Competing with family. So competition is on every level. You know, that what basically what I'm saying is normal. It's normal to a certain degree to be competitive about something. But it's not normal if you are in a friendship with somebody that is constantly trying to compete against you. You get a new car, they go get a new car. You put your kids in private school, all of a sudden she wants to put her kids in private school. Her kids been in public school since you've known her. All of a suddenly, now she's doing what you do, things she's never done before. You have to be mindful of that. It might seem harmless, but anytime a person is constantly being competitive towards you, it's because they want to be you. And that's a very risky thing when you are in the company of somebody who wants to be you. So every chance they get, they're trying to do what you do. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to be in company of somebody who don't have their own identity. They can only find themselves through me. Because I'm not God, I'm not Jesus. I don't want nobody looking up to me that strongly to where every time I do something, you're doing it. And to me, it's creepy as hell. I want to change those 3 C's, right? Originally, I said competitive, comparing, and criticizing. Well, you know, we could probably make it 4. Let's go for what we know. Competitive, comparing, criticizing, and copying. The 4 C's, all right? Repeat that again. Being competitive, comparing, criticizing, and copying. Because I felt that 4th one needed to be added, and I'll explain that. Comparing. Anytime you come to her about a problem with something, for instance, you may be letting her know you're going through something with your husband, going through something in your marriage. And she's comparing. Oh, wow, that's sad that you and John going through that, because me and Derek, we're doing great over here. We're not having those kind of problems. My husband wouldn't treat my husband the way your husband treats you. Not having no compassion. Just straight up, you know, competitive. And not only you competitive, you comparing your life to mine. As if it's not areas in your life in which I may be doing better than you, and vice versa. This is not a competition thing. We both got our own journey. Why are you comparing your journey to mine? Or because my kids are in college and yours can't afford college, so you can't afford to put yours in college, so you criticizing me, which is the next thing I'm going to be going to. Girl, I don't even know why you put them in that expensive university. Honey, all that money, you could have been doing this, you could have been doing that. Just that comparing. Pay attention to Tisha'S T-shirt. I wants to compare everything about your life to hers. Either she trying to make hers sound better or trying to make it seem as if yours is worse. I don't like being in the energy of women who think like that. Criticizing. Always finding fault in everything you do. You tell her you get a new house. Girl, that don't make no sense. Why would you get a new house? You gonna be able to afford that? But girl, me and Curtis, me and my husband, I know we've been separated for a couple of months, you know, but we both done talked about it and we realized we need to stick together and work things out for the sake of the kids. Girl, you crazy. You gonna let him back in? After that argument y'all had that night, that couldn't have been me, honey, because he would have not been welcome back into my house. And it's so ironic, y'all. Women who are so quick to tell you what to do with their husbands, they don't even either have one, or 2, they are in a bad relationship with the one they got, or 3, they think they better than you. Anytime you are in a friendship with a Tisha'S teacher where she's always up there criticizing. And some Tisha'S teachers are so bad, they'll tell you stupid. They will tell you are dumb. will hurt your feelings. Do not use safe choice words. It's a way where you can tell somebody the truth without, beating them down or dragging them for filth. You have a toxic teacher that's up there calling you names, calling you stupid, calling you a dumb bitch. First of all, some women comfortable using that word around each other, calling each other the B word. And to me, I don't feel comfortable with a woman thinking it's cute that she could always use the bitch word towards me and think that I'm supposed to find it acceptable. You have some grown women out here that are very juvenile. They do not know how to hold an adult grown woman conversation. It is what it is. But the last C is copying, wanting to do everything you do. Like I said about the preschool, she had her kids in public school all this time. She didn't want to put in private school till you put yours in private school. Just catty ass, low down. It seems harmless. Like I tell my daughter all the time, because she is learning as she gets older, that it's harder and harder to have a healthy, authentic friendship with other women. And I had to make her realize, women in this day and era, that they just are on a whole nother level. They don't understand the value of friendship. And as much as they want to force themselves to believe they genuinely like you, it's that envious part of them that does not want to give you of a benefit of a doubt in as far as you being the asset, a blessing to them, because they're too busy up here hating and being envious of who you are. And like I tell my daughter, it's the little things. It's that little disrespect. A woman does not have to majorly disrespect you for you to see her true intentions. It should never get to the point to where, you call her sleeping with your man. Now you see how low she really is. Or she calls you get put out your house. Now you see how she really, no. A lot of the times the red flags are right in front of y'all face of toxic t-shirts. Y'all just keep ignoring it because y'all want to go by history, because y'all knew each other back in the day, or y'all want to go by the fact, we family. All this blood is thicker than water. That doesn't always apply. Doo-doo is thicker than water too, but it has no value. In many instances, a lot of y'all are going to find out your family is just people you related to, but they're not family. Y'all may be joined together as far as DNA, but it does not make you family. Family could be somebody who's never even, been born within your family unit. I had my best friend who passed. She was a sister to me. And she didn't come out my mother's womb, but we was very inseparable, and we genuinely had a very solid friendship. And I never had to wonder, never had to guess how she was. Her energy was always on point in my presence. And that's what I seek. And that's what you ladies need to be seeking. If you're going to develop a friendship, you got to make sure that their energy and vibe is on point in your presence. If it's not on point and you still ignore it because she's nice, or she does your hair at a discount, or she got the hook up at the chop shop, or whatever the case is, then you can't be surprised when this person eventually shows their true colors. So we'll go into our next red flag. Mimicking how you dress, look, or talk. We've seen the toxic teachers all of a suddenly, who've always had this sense of inferiority. Now you want to go and get all type of surgery done. Now you want to dress sexy, and you want to all of a suddenly, you want to start dressing a certain way to make yourself more appealing. And I ain't saying there's anything wrong with the woman wanting to change her look. Some of us it took us a while to arrive to a place in which we build a certain level of confidence, in which now we realize confidence is how you take care of yourself. It's how you dress. It's how you keep your spirit restored. And it's never too late to find your inner beauty. But nevertheless, you have some of these women, when they start getting intimidated by women that they are in friendship with, and seeing that particular friend is getting all of this attention, or if her husband is noticing one of her friends that's getting a lot of attention or whatever, all of a sudden you want to get BBLs. You want to start, wearing tight fitted clothes, when all before you used to be dressed like, a pastor's wife, at the Missionary Baptist Church. All of a sudden you want to change how you look. You want to start looking more like your friend. You have a friend who all of a sudden who wants to look like you. When you met her, she was a plain Jane. She had no swag, did not know how to dress. And all of a sudden now, ever since she's been within your company, she wants to change her whole look overall. Seems harmless. And, sometimes, we do have friends. I've witnessed a girlfriend of mine had a nice blouse on. I'm like, girl, where did you get that blouse from, girl? That is so cute. I want one. We copy certain things about each other. That's all a part of being a woman. But it gets to the point to where, she's not even asking you questions. She's just kind of duplicating everything she see you does. My mom said one time she had a friend that she just started duplicating everything down to her furniture. My mom used to have the black and gold striped furniture. Her friend had turned around and bought the same gold and black furniture, except the stripes was more thinner, and hers, it looked a little bit more off. But the black and gold, if any of y'all remember the furniture back in the early 90s or whatever, the contemporary furniture, kind of like that Egyptian look. And then on top of that, she bought a black car. Her friend bought a black car. And the thing about it is she would never even mention it to her. Like, oh girl, that's a nice black car. Where you got that from? Or, oh girl, that's some nice black and gold furniture. Where you got that from? She would just go buy it. She would just go, study what my mom does, study what she buys, and she'll do the same thing. Anytime a woman cannot come to you and be like, hey, I wonder where you got that from. That's cute. She won't even ask you any questions, as if, she's low-key threatened by you, but at the same time, every time you doing something, you seeing her do the same thing or something very similar. To me, that's single black female vibes. If y'all haven't seen that movie, check it out. It's on Tubi, about a woman who, a single woman who was seeking a roommate, and she found another black female who needed a place in which she could become a roommate, and they linked up as roommates. And come to find out, this girl starts becoming real obsessed with her. Very similar to the older classic single white female back in the early 90s. When you get a woman within your circle, within your company, and you notice that she's doing everything that you're doing, seems harmless, those are red flags. You don't want you don't want to befriend a woman who does not have her own identity. She's trying to outshine you. She's trying to do everything you do. That's dangerous. Because if she's doing everything if she's doing everything that you do, that means she wants your life. And you don't know how far a person is willing to go to have your life. So don't take things like that for granted. That speaks volumes when a woman feels like she could only feel like a woman by pretending to be another woman, or mimicking, duplicating her life of another woman. That's low key. That's not even low key. That's those are psychotic vibes. Those are some type of psychopathic tendencies. I said may be harmless, but if it's way too frequently and it's becoming a continuous habit, be very cautious of that. Do not befriend a female who tries to do everything the way you do it. That's not good. Not a good look. Next red flag is she uses your ideas with little or no credit. Again, a lot of these things seem harmless, but these are the big, small little issues that end up manifesting something bigger. You share an idea with a friend. Hey, you want to start your own cleaning business. All of a sudden, out the blue, months down the line, she tells you, girl, I want you to come to my grand opening. What grand opening? I'm starting my cleaning business. Knowing you've been talking to her about this for months before you even started the idea. And not only she starts the idea, but she talks as if she was the one who started it. Like you had absolutely nothing to do with it. Girl, yeah, I just felt like this was something I really needed to do. I really feel like I can make some good money in this. Nothing about, well, girl, listen, after talking to you and you know, giving all of this wisdom about why you starting your own cleaning business, you know, I was just so intrigued and honored by, you know, all of your ideas. And, you know, I just felt like this was something I definitely could do also. You really motivated me. You know, a woman who takes your idea and does not give you any, you know, homage, does not give you any type of thank you. She just takes it as if she thought of that. Red flags. If not that, if she takes your idea, you know, and doesn't even include you in on it, girl, what you think about this? You know, I know this is something you always wanted to do, but after listening to you, I think this is something I'm considering doing as well. In which direction do you think I should go about doing this? You know, how hard? Maybe we can start off doing something together so we can learn together, you know. Anytime she just completely takes your ideas, things that you know she nowhere thought of on her own, okay? And all of a sudden, she just decides to use your idea and don't give you any type of credit for it. Red flag. Down to you know, say y'all both work the same job, and I always recommend do not build a friendship with somebody at your workplace. But if you give a great idea about a job that y'all both work at, here it is, you come to work the next day and you see that idea is being put into action, and you have other people on your job. Oh yeah, Carolyn, girl, your friend came up with this great idea, and I think that's a real wise, that was smart for her to do. I don't see why nobody else here didn't think of that. And she doesn't say, well, yeah, Carolyn came up with this, but she did say that she did also get the idea from you. Listen, it seems harmless, but it's stealing. You know, anytime another woman wants to steal your ideas and make it hers, red flag. Because what's going to happen is every time you share something about yourself that you want to do, she's documenting it. She's writing it down. She's calculating how she's going to use it for her own personal self-gain. Not a good look. Do not deal with a tosser Tisha that uses your ideas, gives you no credit or very little credit. Oh, well, yeah, she did kind of, you know, give me a little advice, but I was the one who did all the work. I mean, or she's downplaying your role in it. Like, you know, you only contributed a small portion of the idea, knowing it was your whole idea from the start. Red flag. Do not deal with women who do this. Make sure y'all hit that like button, by the way, as I go into this content. Next red flag, when they act different around different group of people. One thing I don't like is a friend who cannot genuinely be themselves. I need to see that you are who you are, regardless of how the climate changes. Now, I understand there's going to be things that are going to happen. God forbid something tragic. I'm going to see a different you in a tragic situation compared to how I see you in a more joyful situation. I may see you different. I'm supposed to see you different in a situation in which you're upset compared to how you are when you're not upset. So I'm not talking about emotionally or situational wise. I'm talking about acting like y'all uppity and bougie with you, like she's too good to eat at the Outback Steakhouse, you know, all of this, you know, acting like she's top upper echelon. But when you meet her group of friends, you realize her friends are ratchet. You know, they are not all top tier the way she makes herself out to be, because as we know, birds of a feather flock together. Your company does define a lot doesn't define you as a person, but it says a lot about your spirit, the type of people you entertain. Even if you're not that, the fact that you are in that type of space with those individuals, it questions me about your character. So all this, well, you can be around people and you got to do what they do and be how they are. Yeah, but the fact that you entertain it, it speaks volumes about your character. I don't smoke crack, so why would I sit around and hang around crackheads? Even though I don't smoke it. Even though they've never asked me to smoke. For me to even feel comfortable in that environment with crackheads, something is wrong with that. I should not feel comfortable being in the company of somebody who is totally out of my element. For instance, I had a friend, when she was around me, she would tell me a lot of deep-rooted personal things. She confided in me with it. I became like her diary. She was very, very open, mentally and spiritually, about things with her daughter, about the decisions that affected her in her past. You know, she was older than me. I always had women older than me drawn to me for some reason, for friendship. And I think I was like 20, no. Yeah, I was like 20, no. Yeah, I was like 27, 28. And I think she was like 43, 44, something like that. But she confided in telling me a lot of stuff, you know, about how she would, you know, she would always dress really nice and wore designer labels. And she would tell me how she would always get designer labels on deals. And with Groupons and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, wow, wow, you know how to ball on a budget. Never knew that till we, you know, started building an acquaintance or whatever. She invited me to a function. Met friends of hers that I never seen before. And although it was nice and polite, I just noticed how she acted different around them. She acted a little snootier than usual when it was just me and her. Now, even though she wasn't acting nasty to me or snooty to me in the company of her friends, just seeing that her whole demeanor, it kind of, I was taken back a little bit. How when she got around these people, she had to act like she was very superior. Like, you know, she didn't have to make a payment plan on her, you know, Coach purse. You know, she just acted totally different. Again, it seems harmless, red flag. Female act one way around you, but then when she get around a group of other women, that's her other friends, she's acting different. Different in ways of such as she may ignore you because she's too busy trying to floss and flex with her bougie friends. Or either she'll, you know, talk differently. Her language, her body language, everything talks. That's because she's really not being herself. And that's a red flag. You don't want to be friends with somebody who's not being themselves. Because eventually their true colors is going to reflect. A person that's true to themselves, they don't have to change who they are regardless of who they are around. The fact that you got to act different when you're around other people, it makes me question your realness, your character as a woman. Because my thing is, if I wasn't here in your presence, would you be talking about me? Would you be belittling me to your bougie friends? To me, that just gives off fake energy. I don't like females as a friend who's one way around me, but then when we get around her other friends, she's some other person. I don't vibe with women like that. Also, I'll add this too, if they act different around a man. I cannot stand women, Tisha'S and Tisha'S, who act different. When they got a man, meaning their husband or their fiance around, how they act real uppity, how they act like, you know, I'm on a pedestal, you know, my man is my everything. And I don't like women who, when men come around, their whole attitude is just different. If it's not a husband or her fiance, her attitude is different with. Her attitude is different when men she don't know come around because she wants to get the attention. You may have a friend that when a man comes around, her energy is totally different. She's more flirtatious. She's more loud, obnoxious, or all of a suddenly, she's not. She's acting kind of aloof and cold because instead of really wanting to be in your company as a friend, having a girl night out, she'd rather be, linking up with a dude, rather be getting attention of a guy. So her energy is off where, she don't really want to talk. She really don't want to vibe. Her mind just seems somewhere else. You don't want that type of female as a friend either. That you don't want that type of toxic Tisha traits in which a woman gets around a man and she's more rude. She comes out of her mouth reckless, or she says things that's really embarrassing knowing as a woman. It's just certain things you don't want men, especially men that are strangers to you, you don't want them knowing. Girl, why you acting like that? Are you acting like that because you ain't got a call from Greg? I mean, just being a smart ass, just, being conniving and showing out, basically. These are red flags, because if she's acting like this, especially the ones who don't have a man, and she does get a man, she's gonna definitely flip. Or every time her husband come around, she acting all like uppity and holier than thou. Nah, you don't want to deal with that either, because it's gonna make you look at her in another way, or in any other case, it may require you calling her out while her husband is there, and you just don't want that type of problem. You don't want that type of beef. It's just not that serious. But pay attention. Pay attention to, how a woman acts when she's around different people. It seems harmless, but it speaks volumes. Another red flag, y'all. Hit the like button. Hit the likes before we continue. I need to make sure my numbers are matching my views. So if we can hit that like button, that would be awesome. The next red flag. Her family or peers give you a funny vibe. When she invites you to certain events, her family don't seem very welcoming, or her other friends don't seem very welcoming, it's because she says something about you. I'll even tell y'all this. If her husband or her man is acting funny towards you, it's because of her. It's something she's saying about you that's making people look at you in that way. Especially if you never fell out with any of these people. If you never fell out with her friends, and you never fell out with her man, they don't know you from Adam. But for whatever reason, when you come around, they just look at you like, why are you here? Or it's that vibe of feeling unwelcome. People treating you funny, barely speaking to you, barely acknowledging your presence, and they don't know you. Trust and believe, she says something to them to make them feel the way they feel about you. Her mama acting funny, her sister acting funny, her fiance, her husband acting funny, and you've done nothing to these people. They looking at you like you're a disappointment. She's saying something. She got these people looking at you a certain way for something. If you know in your heart you did nothing to her, you did nothing to none of the people that be around her that's make you feel unwelcome, it's because of her. She's saying something. She's telling them something. She's bad mouthing you, and it's kind of like this. Once a person has been given a narrative about you before getting to even know you, that narrative is cemented unless they are mature enough to say, you know what, I don't care if my mom or my so-and-so don't like her, I'm going to get to know her for myself, because my family, they a trip too. Some people don't have this level of maturity, so they'll automatically go by with a person and say, girl, I mean, she cool and all, but every time I turn around, she down and out, shit a situation. And these people looking at you like you a charity case, because that's what she told them. And you thinking they're just being cold and mean for nothing. Something is going on, and you got to be mindful of that. And some of these women are so They like so much discretion. You know, it's sad, but you got some grown women up here who would tell her husband or her boyfriend another woman's issues. Like, I mean, what is it? Why? I don't understand why women feel it's necessary for their husband to know that, you know, their friend is down on their luck or struggling. I mean, you better hope your husband don't capitalize off of that and be a Martell and be like, oh, wow, she in a struggle. I sure would like to dig her out of that struggle. You get what I'm saying? I'm talking about dig her out in his own special way. You got to read the room. I'm gonna keep preaching this till y'all get it. You have to read the room. If everybody looking at you funny and they don't know you from Adam, you need to let that bra go. Something is going on. There's no way you got this dinner, this event, everybody looking at you with the cold eye. You feel a cold breeze in the room as soon as you walk in there. Nah, that's because she running her mouth. She dragging you. She dogging you. Or maybe y'all had a spit spat, a disagreement or something. And even though it was ugly, but y'all, you know, made peace and put y'all differences aside. Know what it is? She didn't correct it with her family. I know y'all felt some type of way about Mocha, but me and Mocha settled it. We cool. We in a good space. Either she intentionally not correcting it because she want her family still have that vibe, or, you know, or she just didn't feel it was necessary to correct. But my thing is, if you're going and telling your family everything that went wrong between us, you also need to let them know when we made it right and we corrected it. Everybody does not have this level of maturity. Everybody does not have spiritual discernment. If her daddy, mama, uncle, grandkids, kids, even the dog start barking at you funny for no reason, something going on. Something in the buttermilk ain't clean. She's bad-mouthing you and saying negative stuff about you, and people are treating you different based on the narrative that she has contributed about you. Red flag, hit the like, hit the likes, because somebody in this chat right now, you still questioning our toxic teacher. You still questioning your friendship because y'all sorority sisters. Or you the godmother of her children. Or, you know, y'all go way back. Y'all have a history. You still holding on to memories. Anything that justifies that individual feeling like they're entitled of being able to handle you the way they want to handle you. Don't condition people to treating you a certain way. You will regret it. Next red flag. She will jump on shared opportunities without including you. For instance, if your friend knows, let's say if your friend knows that you like, one of my favorite bands is called The Whispers, okay? I'm totally obsessed with The Whispers. I hope I get to catch a Whispers concert before another original member passes away, because we already lost two. But The Whispers, and the beat goes on, and rock steady, all that wonderful. Listen, if you don't know who The Whispers is by now, I need you to just get out my chat, because it's disrespectful that y'all don't know these legends. Those men are they are my heartthrob, okay? I love The Whispers, okay? I love them. Love them dearly. Let's say if you are a fan of The Whispers, or you're a fan of a certain group or whatever, and she wants some tickets to the show, and she's allowed to bring up to 5 people or something like that. Now, I understand it may be situations, okay, maybe she just want to take her family, whatever. We give a pass on that. But if you see she's taking nothing but friends, not including you, and y'all been friends forever, and she knows that's who you rock with, that's a red flag. Or knowing, maybe you're in a situation where you're trying to buy a home or something, and you've been telling her for years, you're trying to find a home, you're trying to buy a home, and let's say she, out the blue, just says, girl, you know what, my sister, who's a real estate agent, she just helped a friend of mine find her home, and you shared this with her, and you hear her talking about how she shared the opportunity with somebody else. These are red flags. You got to realize in friendship, y'all have a bond, okay? Meaning you made yourself very vulnerable to this person. you know. And if this person is your friend and she knows there's something that could be of benefit to you, and I'm not saying she got to do this all the time with every opportunity, and things do come up, and sometimes she's not always in a position to offer you an opportunity just because it would align with where you are in life. But if she has the audacity to tell you how she done lent that opportunity to other people who ain't been near as dedicated to you as you have been, or you finding out through hearsay because she hid it, all of that is red flags. Sure, red flags. Just as something as simple as, girl, I know you looking for a home or something right now, and I do know somebody in real estate, but you know, being that this person is in my family, you know, blah blah blah, you know, I owe the due diligence to let them know. However, you know, but she leaves you out of things, you know, that she knows you will want to be a part of. Even down to her success, she's opening her own hair salon. She don't even tell you about it. That way you can be part of her grand opening. She's having her first grandchild. She doesn't include you in at the baby shower. Special moment. She having a wedding and don't include you. That's red flags, y'all. A real friend wants you to be a part of the different journeys within her life, especially if it's positive journeys. She only calling you every time Greg get out of jail, you know, and burn all the gas out her car. Or she only calling you because her teenage son who won't move out got baby mama drama. She only reaching out to you when things are going wrong in her life, but when things are going right, she don't want you to be a part of that. Red flag. A real friend wants you there to the end, through the good, the bad, all of that. That's what friends are for, okay? In the words of Dionne Warwick, for good times, for bad times, I'll be by your side forevermore. They only want you around for the bad times. Red flag, red flag. Hit the like, hit the like, hit the like, hit the likes. Everybody enter the chat. Big ups to all the Mars. If the Mars are here on deck, big ups to everyone entering the chat who has not yet subscribed. Make sure you subscribe, join the family. If you want to become a member, $3 a month. Moving right along, next jump flag. They like to insult you underneath jokes. It's that discreet shade, that undercover shade. If you are slow or delusional, you will overlook it. It'll get past you. You tell them something like, girl, I just bought me a new house. Girl, the way this economy is, child, who's thinking about buying a house? Or you're announcing that you're having an engagement party. Well, girl, ain't you only knew him for 6 months? Didn't you just get out of a relationship? You only been divorced 2 years. I wouldn't be trying to move on that quick. Or, you want to buy you a new car. What's wrong with that? That don't make no sense. The car you got now is already... in other words, you don't want me to grow. You don't want me to get ahead. You don't want me to elevate. Very dangerous. Pay attention to the shade and the jokes. And the kikiing. Why you thinking it's a joke and you thinking it's funny, you have to read in between the lines and realize that that person does not have your best interests. The shades and the jokes. Ooh, child. What? You mean to tell me your car note is $600 a month? Ooh, child, I couldn't be you. Did you just catch the shade and the jokes? You telling her about how your daughter or your son is getting ready to attend college? Girl, do university. That's just way too much money. Child, bye. But honey, I guess if you got money like that, do you, boo? That's a hater. Okay? And let me say this, because women, a lot of people in general throw that word hater around like a bottle of hot sauce at a black folks cookout. A hater, I define a hater. Let me first start off what most people define as a hater. A hater is somebody that just don't like what you like, or it's somebody who disagrees. That's what I feel most people think When they say you a hater, meaning you just don't agree with me. You just don't like what I like. But what I feel is a hater is someone who intentionally says things or does things to discourage you from even discouraging you from even having the desire or the motivation to get to the next chapter in life. You up here telling this person, I want to get a new car. Girl, that what? How you going to afford that? Or, I'm really thinking about getting married. I'm tired of dealing with these multiple dudes. Me and Greg been talking for a couple of years, and we both have come to the decision of which we think we should get engaged and get married and have something solid. Girl, everything you went through with Greg, why? I don't even think he's husband material. Like I said, it's a way to tell the people the truth without always being critical. It's one thing if she says, well, girl, if that's what you want, I'm going to support you. And I'm going to make sure I'm right there at that wedding. Let me know the time, the date, the place, the venue, and I'm there. Now, in the back of your mind, in the back of my mind, I can know Craig ain't shit. Unless you ask me my real personal opinion, I'm just going to support it. Now, there's a difference between being fake and supporting somebody. Being fake is when you just totally against what they aren't against, and you willing to act like you're okay with it. There's a line between being fake and having compassion. Just because I don't like her man or I don't care for him, that's not my decision to dampen her dreams by telling her or making her feel bad about marrying him. Now, if her man has ever disrespected me and she's still kicking it with him after he disrespected me, then I'm not vibing with you. Because if we friends, you shouldn't feel comfortable allowing your man to disrespect me and you don't call him out on it, especially when I did nothing wrong. You got to pay attention. It's so many factors, right? But pay attention to the insults in the jokes, coming at you, but in a jokingly manner. Insulting you, criticizing you, belittling you, but doing it in jokes or in ending it with laughs and smiles where it seems harmless. But shade through jokes is very harmless. Don't let them think it's okay with that. Next red flag. They are always doing great. They never share any of their struggles. What I don't like is I don't like fake hoes. And I'm going to just be honest. Women who are always, oh girl, everything is fine. Everything is wonderful. My husband is wonderful. My children is wonderful. My job is wonderful. Everything is just so great, honey. We have a beautiful home. We got beautiful roses blossoming in the garden. Just everything is just so great and wonderful. First of all, ain't nobody like that damn great or wonderful. All of us are going through something. Now, I'm not saying you got to, every time somebody, to prove your realness, you got to only share when you are in a down sprout in your life. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, you have some of these females out here, and we all know one. We all know that toxic Tisha, who tries to act like there's no problems in the home front. Nothing. My husband don't cheat on me. My kids are great, perfect. They don't smoke weed. They don't leave their socks on the floor. You never have a bad day. Anytime you deal with a female, everything is always great. She's never transparent with you about other areas in her life in which is not that great. Red flag. Because and I'm going to tell you why it's a red flag. You got to realize women like that who always got to keep themselves on top, like toxic Tisha'S, like Tisha does. Oh, everything wonderful. There's no cheating. He's not cheating on me over here. I'm not having those problems. Y'all always trying to down talk my marriage. My marriage is fine. My marriage is great. Y'all are always coming for my marriage. Anytime you deal with them type of females like that, this is the problem. When things start going great for you, when things are really wrong for them, what they'll do is they'll start acting out, because you got to remember, they don't put up this heavy defense mechanism that their marriage and everything is great. So when things go wrong, they can't express it to you. they can't tell it to you. Because they don't put up this strong facade that my marriage is perfect and everything is great. So when things start going left, and she finds out her husband cheating on her, or finding out little Billy, who she bragged about being so perfect, is on drugs or locked up in prison or whatever, what tends to happen is she's not going to express that. Because remember, she put up this perfect image persona that her life is great. So when things go wrong, she's going to act out by being bitter, by being mean, by being harsh. That's what's going on with toxic Tisha. That's what's going on with Tisha in love and marriage. I really feel like there's so much going on with her and Marceau, with these businesses, with that's lawsuits, all of that. She's sitting on a lot of misery, but because she has put up this front and she does not want to fail, she does not want her marriage to look like it's not intact, because again, she wants to be the one to have the room to keep attacking other people's marriages. And the only way you can have the room to attack other people's marriages and relationships is as long as they know absolutely nothing about yours. But this is the thing, a lot of us are already aware that Marceau is nowhere this stand up top tier dude that's standing on business. We know that. So what you'll do is you'll get them kind like Tisha. That's why I call the message the toxic Tisha'S, that put up this front, and when things are really going bad, she can't express it. So she'll act it out by being rude, disrespectful, throwing shade, throwing insults, because that's just the little girl part of her of saying, I'm too embarrassed to see that the front that I put out there, I'm not living that lie that I'm making everybody believe. So it's making me miserable inside. It's making me angry inside. And I got to vent, and I got to take that out on somebody. So if I got to take it out on another woman who I feel that I'm better than, who I feel is kind of down, I'm going to use that to my advantage. I think it's a part of Tisha in which she still feels like she has a one-up on Mel, only because she's still Maury. And what'll happen is, in the event that marriage fails, she's going to be distraught, because Tisha has always used her marriage as a golden ticket. And the last thing she wants is for people to see that her marriage is none of what she tried to make it out to be. So what she does, act out by being a mean girl, being messy, being disrespectful, being bitter, and all of that. You don't want to be friends with a woman who never shares her struggles. Because 9 times out of 10, you'll be the one she dumps all that misery and anger and animosity out on. Red flag. Make sure y'all hit the like button if you're just coming in. I appreciate that. Next red flag. Well, I mentioned that earlier. They change when they get a man, or if they already have a man. I did mention that to y'all, but just to reiterate on that. Friendship with single women is different than friendship with married women. It really, really is. In many cases, when these women get married, sometimes they have to really change who they are because of the type of man they have joined themselves to. A lot of these women are in very miserable marriages. So that has a lot to do, like I mentioned with Tisha just now, with their character, with them being snooty and just complicated and difficult to be with. Men have a way of changing you. They could change you for the better, or they could change for the worse. True story, truth moment. Had I think a 17-year friendship since high school. I got married before she did. Had a child before she did. So she, within the friendship, she experienced different walks with my journey. And after a while, she started kind of desiring for herself, wanting a husband, wanting a child. And I'm not saying this because I did it. I think by nature, all women kind of desire that to a certain degree. You want the picket fence, the cat, the dog, whatever. And I would say I did change, but not change to the point to where I just was nowhere myself to where I mistreated her, anything like that. But when she got married, her whole demeanor changed. So, all of a suddenly, her conversations was always about her man, always about, him, to the point to where it came off as bragging. I didn't mind once in a while you share some of your good moments, but it seemed like every conversation. Then she started having children. She already had her first child from a guy. That didn't work out. So she did have a child already when she got involved with this guy. And I guess because the first baby daddy failed her, like a lot of women, she wanted to make up for that by starting over, creating a whole nother family with a whole nother man. I guess that was her way of erasing her past. Just get a new baby, get a new man, start a clean slate. And this man ended up being her worst nightmare. I mean, I can go all day telling you about all the stuff he did, but my brain just don't have the energy. And that's really when our friendship fell apart. Once she got with him, and I guess because he was taking her through so much, and the fact that she wanted so hard to keep the identity of this perfect marriage, she was suffering. And what she did was, a lot of these women got what's called displaced anger. You took it out on me, you took it out on your family. I mean, me and her mother talked about it. Me and her mother are still in touch with each other to this day. And my mom was like a mom to her. And we all pretty much was on the same page. My mom, her mom, and me, we all was pretty much on the same page that she just was never going to be the woman we once knew once she got married. Seemed like once she married that man, her whole attitude changed. She became very arrogant. She became very stubborn, became very difficult. And the friendship ended. Like I said, I'll save that story for another day because there's several other things that happened with that, but we'll save that for another time, right? But yeah, if they change when they get a man, they start acting up, or if they get back with their man who already been dragging them through the mud, listen, just back up, let them have their man, let them have their life. I ain't never be that thirsty for friendship where you got to confront a woman about, how she treats you. I mean, don't get me wrong, if you got to confront that woman, say what you got to say, but all this begging for friendship, why would you do me like that? Why would you ruin our friendship? I would never be that thirsty for friendship. Once a female showed me who the hell she is and how she could flip like a spatula, I don't care about trying to understand why you did me the way you did. The only thing I want you to understand is I'm getting the hell on and I don't want to be bothered with you. I'm just not that thirsty for friendship. Once you show me who you are, I'm out. I'm not about to sit up here and do no therapy counseling session with you, trying to renew our friendship. Once you done showed me who you are and how you get down, that's the only closure I need. I don't need no apology. I don't need no understanding. Red flag. Like I said, when they change with a man, change your way out that friendship. It's not worth it, because every time her and that man does well, she's gonna think she's better than you, or anytime her and that man start having problems, now she wants to lean on you. You don't want to deal with that. And the last red flag is when they include you in some things but exclude you in things they know you would be great at. That pretty much kind of tells with the first one. That sounds like I'm kind of repeating the same point. Pretty much like I told you before. If she knows you're good, at starting your own cleaning business, and all of a sudden she wants to start a cleaning business, she leaves you out of that. But when it comes to some drama or some foolishness going on in her life, she wants to include you in that. She wants you to help her with that. I don't like selective friendship. You pick and choose when you want to be friends with me. That's a lot of wishy-washiness. Or you have me in a certain space in your life. Listen, a lot of you women, a lot of y'all out here in the chat, a lot of y'all are just placeholders in friendships. You being placed there because you're smart with business and paperwork. You're being placed there because you're good at giving marital advice. You're being placed there because you are a good godmother to the children. You're being placed there because every time she has a problem, you always listening, or you always trying to figure out a way. Especially if you're the type of woman you really value friendship. You don't want to let your friend down, but it's the problem when you bond with the female who does not value how much you value friendship. What ends up happening is you become used. You become used. And when the grits hit the fan and y'all have y'all first falling out, you're going to look back and reflect on all the stuff you ever did for her, all the times you ever been there for her, and you're going to feel as if you got left with the short end of the deal. When you see any of these toxic Tisha red flags, find a way to gracefully remove yourself from the situation. There's plenty of toxic Tishas out there. That's what Melody is dealing with. A woman who's very miserable in her own personal life, but yet got time to be in everybody else's business. The other red flag, you in a friendship with a woman you know that's miserable, but yet she has all the answers to everybody else's life and she still hasn't found her own way. All of these are red flags. What can she tell you about getting your life in order when she's on her third or fourth kid with another deadbeat? Or she keeps having to move from apartment to apartment, or she keeps getting fired off of jobs because of foolishness. Be mindful of all that. Pay attention to all these red flags, ladies. No friendship is worth you losing your sanity and losing your peace of mind. Beware of the toxic Tishas, the low-key haters, the bitter Brendas, the two-faced Tianas. Pay attention to all of that. It seems harmless. Like I said, it's the little things that outweigh the big things. Don't wait for major disrespect before you put her in check. No friendship is worth you losing your sanity or you losing your self-respect. So anyway, leave y'all comment below. Let me know what y'all think about this. Is part 2. Protecting yourself from the toxic Tishas. All of these red flags. If y'all can name any more red flags that I have probably missed, help all the sisters out. Please post it in the comment section. Alright? We're getting older. It's time for us to start being more spiritually woke and not spiritually broke. Y'all leave comments. Make sure y'all hit the like button. And y'all know I'm going to be back with some more sermons. I'm going to be working on my Unhinged tonight. So still got plenty of projects to do, man. Y'all stay blessed out there. Be stress free. And until next time, I will speak with y'all later. Take care.
I think like a lot of people are too lazy to deal with a healed person, right? Because if I'm dealing with somebody that's broken, then I can show up and give bare minimum and still be held up on a pedestal.
You sure will.
Right? Because you don't know no better, right? You ain't never had better. So if I'm showing up giving bare minimum, doing things like opening doors and pulling out chairs, I'm looked at as, oh my God, he's just this incredible man. You see what I'm saying? But if I date somebody that's healed, that type ain't gonna impress them.
It's not gonna, no.
Because they're used to that. You see what I'm saying? So now I gotta really focus on being considerate. I gotta really be consistent. I gotta show up. I gotta do the things that a man is supposed to do. Communication being one of them. And I'm too lazy to do that. So I'm gonna stay away from the healed person and I'm gonna deal with the broken people that I can be a hero.